Spurs player ratings in that draw with Bournemouth, disappointing all round, poor performances across the board, rusty performances, a couple of good individual performances. Once again, the younger players. So stay tuned to the very end to get my player ratings. Very interested to hear how you view how the players done, including substitutes and rating Ange Postecoglou, who, by the sounds of things, the way he spoke after the game, is feeling the pressure. Stay tuned. What is happening, people? Welcome back to the channel. I do hope you're keeping well. Let's crack straight into the player ratings in that 2-2 draw with Bournemouth. Start with goalkeeper Vicario. I think he kept us in that game on several occasions in that first half. Disappointed with him in that second half, I'm honest with you. Slowed the game down too much. There's opportunities to break, and myself included. One of those fans really getting frustrated with him. And of course, you have to play with an element of calmness, control, but we didn't have the quality in this game to break Bournemouth down. They are the better side. They proved that today because I think they totally deserve to win, if I'm being honest with you. Put the Spurs bias aside, took the Spurs hat off. So that was disappointing. But without him, we would have lost this game. That's no secret. Big saves in that first half. Yes, Bournemouth were wasteful all game in that final third. In particular, at the start of that game, they could have been 2-3-0 up. And that's no joke in that first 5 minutes. Vicario kept us in it. Porro, by the way, Vicario I'll give a 6. Porro was disappointed in. I think he's overhated generally across the kind of fan base and across social media. But today he was poor. And every negative and criticism or constructive criticism put forward by people that aren't keen on him or don't rate him, he proved them right today. He was really poor from his positioning to his sloppiness on the ball. That's where all Bournemouth's continued success and joy come from. So Porro really disappointed him, and that's why I think he's taken off in the end. And Spence, obviously, I thought thrived a lot better as well at right back, but I think Porro was really struggling. It was the main reason. Romero coming back in, don't want to be too harsh because he was rusty. By the way, Porro, I gave a 3 as well. But Romero, disappointing, as I said, rusty coming back in, but he didn't grow into the game, understandably, as the game went on, if that makes sense. But again, sometimes too slow, and that really rusty in that first half. I'm going to give him a 4. Danso 5. I thought it was okay. Towards the end, struggled a little bit, but I think he might have picked up a knock or a little mini injury. Hopefully, nothing too serious. He's struggling with his hamstring, and he's just wooden and tired and everything. Everything wrong with him, I suppose. Towards the end of that game, Spence, one of these positive players that I'm talking about. There isn't many, so we've got to discuss them while we can. 7. I thought was really good. Again, played left back and then right back in the end. Been passed from pillar to post, thrown in the deep end, and he's coping really well. And there's just times he's got 2 or 3 Bournemouth players around him, and he finds a way to keep hold of the ball. And he's the one driver that's forward, putting the midfield and other defenders to shame. Really impressive again from Spence. Bentancur, disappointing. The only surprise here was how long he stayed on the pitch. And yes, he was better as the game went on, but again, too slow, sloppy on the ball, poor yellow card to pick up. Disappointed for him, one of his worst games, I think, for Spurs. Going to give him a 3. Took in a bad. Basuma offered nothing, and he didn't necessarily do much wrong, but he was just like he wasn't there. It was like playing with 10 men. 2.5 I've given him, slightly on the harsh side. Sarr provided energy in midfield, no real creativity. I think it was no surprise to us Spurs fans when we saw the team sheet, Bentancur, Basuma and Sarr in that midfield. That was a worry, and I think Ange got that totally wrong today from the start. So Sarr, I've given a 6. I think that's on the kind side. Johnson, ineffective once again. And then, okay, some people say he's dropping back and he's getting more involved. And he won a good free kick in that first half where I thought, okay, it's really good from Johnson. It's a sloppy pass from Romero, who we've already talked about. But generally, for example, I think it was that Bournemouth first goal, Tavernier, who scored it in the air. And Kirkes, what a delivery, by the way. And what a player. A player I'd love at Spurs. But trying to get sidetracked here. Johnson has to do more. It's poor from Porro. He's at fault, of course. But Johnson makes it impossible, really hard for Porro to play that pass because Johnson's movement's really poor. Johnson expects the ball to feet. He doesn't move towards the ball. That's the frustrating thing. So I've given him a 2. Really uninspiring again from him. And the only reason for me at the moment he's in the team is because there are no better options and Kulusevski's out. Solanke, not his day. Don't want to be too harsh. He's just come back from that weeks out and just come back for a little knock as well against his old club. Would have meant a lot to him. Just didn't win any ball in the air. He's not given much service, but when he was today, he didn't do anything with it. 4. Odebear, I think a bright spark and a prospect, maybe. I don't think we've seen enough. I don't know what his best attribute is, if I'm honest, but I thought his movement was good. He had a little bit of trickery, a little bit of pace, but lacking that confidence to take on his man. And just sometimes just didn't do a lot with it when he did beat his man, or his cross wasn't good. So I thought he was frustrated with himself. I'm going to give him a 5.5, but hopefully, more to come from him, but not really involved in today's game. Substitutes, Bergevall making the difference. It's such a good young player. Sometimes you have to part these performances results and just go, look at Lucas Bergevall, 18 years of age, pulling the strings in that midfield with the fight, with the creativity. Deserved the assist he got. 8 out of 10. Son, come on, I think it made a difference. Obviously, scored that penalty, which I think he won, didn't he, as well? So credit to him for that. And yeah, he did cause a few problems. He's not the finished article, we know that, but he brought a little bit of pace and caused a few problems for Lewis Cook on that right-hand side. So that was positive. Maddison, I'd given a 2. Come on. Just looked like a frustrated figure. There's one moment where he got away with it. Bournemouth didn't convert their chance, but he's just so sloppy from Maddison. He lacked the leadership on Thursday. Really poor. And he was poor again today. He's frustrated with others. And I totally agree. If Maddison had better players around him, he'd thrive. There's no doubt about that. But him himself, he doesn't pull his weight and expects others to. There's a lot of time whining and moaning rather than leading and by example on that pitch. Van der Ven, I've given a 5. And said he made a difference. I don't really know. It's good to see him drive forward a couple of times. I don't think he made a massive difference, but just nice to see him on the pitch. A doggy I've gone with non-applicable. Wasn't on the pitch long enough. Postecoglou, I'm caught in two minds what to rate him. I've given him a 4. I think he got the team selection, as I said, totally wrong with this, from the start with that midfield, but his substitutions he got right. But generally, there'd be a lot of questions asked of him, and rightly so. And I don't like his comments post-match about the fans, how the players done well to cope with, because there's anxiety in the crowd. He's having another dig at the fans, and I don't agree with that. I think as a fan base, we've been really patient with Ange, stuck with him and the team through difficult moments. I think there's a lack of appreciation there. He's speaking like a man under pressure. And he will be going into Thursday. But this game, as I said, it doesn't really matter as much as we want to win. It's about Thursday, but this is not the performance we needed or wanted going to Thursday. That's the difference. So there are my thoughts. Please do like and subscribe. Turn the notifications bell on for more. And for now, a massive Come You Spurs. It ends Spurs 2, Bournemouth 2.